Hi, if you saw my last video, then you'll notice that it wasn't really structured. I didn't really have a plan for that video. So, today I'm just gonna be reading some shower thoughts from Reddit and giving my opinion on them. So let's get started.
Oh, yeah.
This user says the idea that you master something after 10,000 hours does not hold much water, as people still bite their tongue when they eat. I guess that is something to think about, you know, because people still do bite their tongues when they eat after they have so many hours of eating. That is something to think about. Like, well, I guess I guess there is some truth to that. That is pretty funny to think about. Like, how many people have, like, I don't know, poop themselves, you know? Like, produced fecal matter inside of their pants, you know? I'm sure there's someone out there that's done it in their 20s. Up next, this user says fleeing prey animals are heating up the predator's meal. What an interesting thought. Like, when an animal's running away, it's getting hot and steamy. Do animals sweat? No, animals don't sweat. Humans sweat. Are there animals out there that sweat? Do they also have BO? Anyways, this is an interesting thought. Do animals even like their meals heated up? Well, I guess if an animal was cold, it'd be dead for quite a bit. And most predators don't eat like carcasses, right? They eat stuff that they kill. This post says, or this next user says, sewer water is slightly caffeinated. And that's interesting to think about. Like, your coffee goes through your digestive tract and leaves behind a bit of caffeine inside of your feces. Maybe if you eat too much or drink too much coffee, it's like turns into diarrhea, caffeinated diarrhea. You know? Slurp that up. That's like reuse, reduce, recycle, you know? Yeah. Well, iced coffee kind of looks like liquid poop in a way. You know, liquid feces.
Attention. Your brain's operations are outside typical
Minus all the...
parameters. Time spent daydreaming will be deducted from your
Oh,
sustenance
they're both
budget.
brown. Both liquid. But feces probably doesn't taste as good. Probably doesn't smell as good. And the top comment says sewer water is slightly most things. That's great. When you think about it, maybe it's like part could be part Fent. You never know. Part Fent. Does fentanyl go through your system? Part heroin, part coke. Anyways, this next user says maybe the angry looking faces on cars are subconsciously contributing to more road rage. That, maybe there is merit to that idea. I don't know if I completely agree with that. I think, well, maybe. But most road rage is partly because we're in metal boxes, and we're not communicating to each other in the same way we'd be communicating in person with our body language. Like, if you like cutting someone off while walking is totally different than while driving, because you can be like, hey man, or you can be like, oh sorry, I didn't see you there, you know what I'm saying? But maybe it's that the angry faces on cars, although there are some cars that don't look as angry. Maybe this theory has merit. I'd love to see a scientific study on this. This next user says, because of a silly joke, everyone now knows what the powerhouse of the cell is. That, you know what? I don't think I'd honestly remember that the mitochondria was the powerhouse of the cell if it wasn't like some sort of widespread joke. I actually agree with this. This is honestly like pretty spot on, pretty accurate. The thing is, I don't know what powerhouse really means. You know, I don't really know what the mitochondria does. I completely forgot. But I know it's a powerhouse, you know? Power, like a power cell. Does it operate kind of like a power slug, do you think? Do you think if power slugs were real, humans could ingest them and overclock themselves? That'd be pretty cool. Okay, this next user says, dating apps have created a sliver of human history where it's possible to successfully flirt with someone while pooping. This is really funny to think about to me. Like, you're just rizzing up a girl, and you're just having explosive diarrhea. Definitely not in your pants, but over a toilet. That's funny. A sliver of human history. I don't know if it'll be a sliver. Dating apps might be around for a pretty long time, pretty lengthy time. I might say. I'll hypothesize that dating apps will be around for a long time. While pooping. Yeah, that's funny. Funny to think about. This user says, there are a lot more cats named Tom than mice named Jerry. I think this guy is referring to that one hit TV series, Tom and Jerry, if I'm not mistaken, from that one, from the Looney Tunes, right? Oh yeah, that brings me back. I guess it's easier to name a cat named a cat Tom. That does. Plus I think there's more cat owners than mice owners. I don't think people keep mice. People keep other rodents a lot, like hamsters. I guess there is. Maybe there is a decent amount of people that keep mice as pets, but definitely I think other rodents are more popular options, like guinea pigs and hamsters. So, just as virtue of cats being more popular, I do think this is pretty accurate. Alright, so this is not from Shower Facts, this is from Random Thoughts. And, or, did it say Shower Facts? I think I meant Shower Thoughts, but this is from Random Thoughts, and it's pretty, this subreddit is pretty parallel, in my opinion. It's pretty similar, but not exactly the same. They have sort of different vibes. But this user says, the fact that someone looked straight at a purple onion and decided to call it a red onion really bothers me. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's that does merit the question. Does this person who named the red onion, is he colorblind? Can you tell the difference between purple and red? This kind of reminds me of like orange. You know how orange is named orange. How did we come up with that? Who came up with that? You know? Why is an orange called an orange but not an apple called a red? Eat a burger on honey mustard. That is strange. Why is an apple not called a red? Why is a banana not called a yellow? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I'd love to meet the person who named these eventually. Wait, are they? They're probably long by now, but it's fine. Let's see. Another random thought. Are teeth considered bones? Are they? I actually don't know. Let me read the top comment. They're not bones, they're made of calcium phosphate that bones are, and they don't have marrow or collagen, so they cannot repair themselves. Okay. So, they do show up on bone scans, this commenter says. But I guess they're not considered bones? That's weird. I do remember watching this YouTube short about how, like, brushing your teeth is the only time you're washing your skeleton. This is what this reminds me of. This user says, most of us live our whole lives surrounded by trees and plants we can't even name. That is interesting. That is interesting. I guess that plants aren't really not my area of expertise. I'd probably just end up naming the plants Bob, you know? You know that tree over there? Looks like a real Bob. That tree over there? He, looks like a kebab, you know? Name your tree Kebab. Do you think there's a person out there named Kebab? Like the food? Do you ever wonder, like, how many weird names there are out there? I guess weird is kind of rude. Unique names. Alright, this user says, can I speak to a human? Will eventually replace, can I speak to your manager? You know, AI is getting really good at a lot of things. And I do think this might be the norm in the future, unfortunately. I would much rather speak to a human than an AI, but that is the unfortunate truth, that AI is getting really good at these things, and businesses will replace anyone they can. Unfortunately, businesses are made to make money, so they'll cut costs whatever they can. But yeah, I think a couple weeks ago I was ordering pizza and I called Domino's, and I was really surprised to hear an AI on the line. I was actually talking to an AI for my order, and it was probably one of the most frustrating experiences ever. But that is the unfortunate truth that businesses do not
Milestone reached.
really want to look
Several
out
new
for their
structures
employees.
are now available for improving factory
That
organization.
is very unfortunate.
Foundations provide a building grid, which makes it easier to manage placement of any structure.
This user
In the
says,
event that you are experiencing amnesia
your brain
for
can
all
generate
events
a
prior
thought
to
so
planetfall,
complex
be
that even
reassured
you
that
don't
memories of
understand it.
beloved humans and or animals would have only been distractions from your important mission.
I honestly don't even think I fully understand this post, let alone what other complex thoughts my brain could come up with that I can't understand, that my own brain can't understand it. But this kind of reminds me of the whole, like, nightmares are just your brain scaring itself sort of thing. That is, it's really funny to think about your brain scaring itself. Just putting yourself through torture when you go to sleep. Oh man. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today. Um, let me know if you like this sort of more structured approach to my random thoughts. And also let me know if you have any other pressing questions that you'd like my thoughts on, or any of your own shower thoughts. That'd be really fun to read. So yeah, see ya.
Có chữ thề con cặc đồ mày nói chuyện vô dân quá. Mày coi chừng mày chết với tao rồi mày.